How's it going, everybody? Estas here. So the markets were a mixed bag today. We had the S&P up 0.4%, the Dow went down about 0.2%, the Nasdaq 100 crushed it up 1.1%, and the Russell went down about 0.5%. So today, like always, we're going to break down some charts, some stocks, my thoughts on the markets, and overall where my head is at as a trader, as an investor. So sit back, relax, smash that like button, go down below, get your $50 from M1 Finance, your 2 stocks from Webull. Check out my Patreon if you want all my buys, sells, call outs in real time, and a bunch more. All of that's on Patreon, link down below. And with that being said, let's get right into the video. So like I said, guys, today was a mixed bag all over the place. But when it comes down to the main indexes, at least the ones that I track, the Dow is a main index, but the S&P and the Nasdaq 100, those did very well. In fact, both of them hit all-time highs today. When we look here at SPY, which you should know by now tracks the S&P 500, this hit an all-time high at $453.07. And that came after the meteoric rise we saw this morning. If you guys were watching, this was one heck of a morning. I mean, we were coasting upwards pre-market, slowly but surely, and then once the market opened, we saw a bit of choppiness the first 10-15 minutes, and then boom, we ended up seeing that meteoric push from 450 all the way to that all-time high at 453.07, and then we pretty much coasted for the rest of the day after about 11 a.m. here on the East Coast. For the next 4 or 5 hours, we consolidated and we traded around 453, 452. And if I pull back on that 20-day chart, it's obvious. I mean, I don't have to tell you guys this every single day, but I'm going to tell you the bulls are 100% in charge. And I covered yesterday in my Sunday video how September, historically speaking, for the S&P 500 is the worst month, with average returns being, if I remember correctly, which I believe this is the right number, average returns being negative 0.56%. So if history repeats itself the next couple of days here as we're kicking off September, maybe we start selling off a bit. And it doesn't necessarily have to happen in terms of history repeating itself, but I'm keeping that in the back of my mind how, again, September is historically the worst month for the S&P 500. So keep that in mind. And when it comes down to QQQ, this ended up doing very well as well. Another all-time high was hit at $380.76. And you guys can see that was hit later on in the day at about 2:30 p.m. here on the East Coast, and that came after the massive push from this morning. You guys can see QQQ opened up at about 376.50, ended up pushing up about $4 or $5 throughout the day, which is awesome. And did we not call this out? I don't want to toot my own horn, but I'm going to do it in this video. Did we not call this out, guys? When we broke out of 370, I told you all, watch out for the push up. 375, 380 on QQQ, and lo and behold, a couple days later, that is exactly where we are. We're trading at $380, and how long will this last? I have no idea, but what I do know is that the bulls, like the S&P 500 here on QQQ, they are 100% in charge. So what do you guys think? Drop me a comment down below in the comment section. I would love to know your thoughts. Are you locking in profits here? Are you deploying a lot of cash? Are you keeping cash on the sidelines? For me personally, guys, I locked in some profits today on my Amazon position. In fact, I completely liquidated that Amazon swing trade position. And again, all you guys on Patreon, you get all my buys, sells, call outs, all that good stuff in real time. Check it out, link down below. And I'm actually raising a little bit of cash. Not that I didn't have any cash, because I did have a pretty decent cash position, but I want to raise a little bit more cash right now as we're getting into September, just in case we get that pullback. And that doesn't mean I'm not playing offense. I mean, I still have some open positions, swing positions, that is, and of course, long-term positions. I have many of those open as well. So yeah, what are you guys doing? I kind of gave you a little bit of a rundown of what I'm looking to do, raise some cash. Now, what are you guys doing? Drop me a comment, and if you all are enjoying the video, smash that like button, and let's talk about some stocks now. Number one, which we kind of called this out, guys. The writing was on the wall, and I mentioned this yesterday. It's Zoom, ticker symbol ZM. And I mentioned to you guys yesterday, I was like, look, if Zoom disappoints with earnings, their earnings are underwhelming, this thing could tank. And lo and behold, it is down $43 per share after hours as I'm filming this video, or in other words, it's down almost 12%. And like I said, the writing was on the wall, and by that I mean the technicals were not bullish. In fact, they were pretty bearish. I mean, we got a double top back in July, early August as well, a clear double top at about 405, 407, and following that double top, we collapsed all throughout August from 405 down to about 340, where we were trading at close today. In fact, Zoom went up on the day, up 2% on the day. Probably traders were thinking, oh, maybe the earnings will be okay, or maybe the stock will go up after earnings, and yeah, it didn't. It's crashing after earnings. And this is another reason why I don't like buying short-term trades and holding stocks right before earnings or through earnings. It's not my style. I hate doing that. This is why, because if you were to buy Zoom right before, gambling on earnings, you'd be down 12% on shares. And if you were in options, I don't even want to get into that. Let's say you bought call options, you'd be down a lot more than 12%, depending on, it depends on what strike you bought, how far out you bought the call options, and so forth. But overall, the writing was on the wall. Double top. We sold off all of August. If we pop up the yearly chart, we were downtrending and trading within the downwards channel. Now that we broke under 340, we're collapsing towards 300. I mean, didn't we not call this out yesterday? I literally called this out. And the earnings weren't even that bad. That's the crazy thing. EPS came in. In fact, they beat both EPS and revenue. EPS came in at $1.36 versus $1.16, so that beat. And revenue came in at $1.02 billion versus $990.96 billion, or million rather, estimated. So it had to be a guidance thing. Let's pop up the live news tab and see here exactly what they reported when it comes down to good old guidance, guys. This is huge. They see Q3 EPS of $1.07 to $1.08 versus $1.09 estimated. So EPS for Q3 came under the estimates. Okay, that's one bad sign there. Sales for Q3 of 1.1 or 1.015 to 1.02 billion versus the 1.01 billion. So that's right in line with revenue estimates for Q3. So not too bad there. And let's see full year 2022 guidance. They see EPS of 475 to 479 versus 467. So that is above estimates for full year 2022 revenue, or rather EPS guidance. And sales guidance is $4 billion to about $4.015 billion versus the $4.01 billion estimated. So for full year 2022, guidance is pretty much right in line for revenue. So it's not, I don't know. Maybe it's because the guidance isn't that great. It would have been better if the guidance was higher than the estimate, obviously. That's always a lot better. And overall, that could be leading to the underwhelming, reaction to the earnings report, to be honest. And it says here, Zoom had 2,278 customers in Q2. Wait a second. Zoom says in Q2 had 2,200 customers contributing over, contributing over 100K in trailing 12-month revenue, which is up 131%. Before I read the end of that, I was like, wait, they only have 2,200 customers? No, they have 2,200 customers contributing over 100K in trailing 12-month revenue, which is a lot of money from just a single customer. And you do that 100 times 2278, which is whatever the heck that comes out to. And that is up, again, 131% year over year, which I am a fan of there. But, again, the stock's selling off. So, I don't know. I mean, this is a no touch right now, in my opinion. I feel like it could go lower. It's a falling knife. I mean, it could start trading. If it cracks under 300, we're probably going 280. We're probably going down to test those lows from the middle of May at about 270. That's very possible. So be mindful of that. On the flip side, though, a stock that I don't think is a no touch, I own it. It's PayPal, PYPL. PayPal went up almost 4% today, and they're exploring ways, get this, guys, very big here. They're trying to utilize their massive platform and their huge database of users here. They're looking to explore ways to let users trade individual stocks according to two sources familiar with the plan. As a part of the expansion, according to one of the sources, the payment giant hired a brokerage industry veteran to lead, quote-unquote, invest at PayPal, which I'm guessing is what they're calling this service, platform, I don't know what you want to call it. And the previously unreported division of the payments giant, I read that wrong. A previously unreported division of the payments giant. I guess invest at PayPal is what that is. So this is huge, guys. They're looking to get people to, or rather allow people to invest in stocks on PayPal's platform. So the stock's liking that, obviously. This is a new revenue stream or future revenue, builder for the business, growth vector, if you want to call it. More profits will be coming to the business. So the stock's breaking out. We're trading above both moving averages. We're at 289 after hours now. The all-time high is 312, and I'm seeing a clear-cut inverse head and shoulder on this 4-hour chart. Let me zoom in a bit. You guys will be able to see it. It's not the cleanest cut one, but I'd still consider it nonetheless an inverse head and shoulder. We got the left shoulder there, the head right here, and then we got the right shoulder right there with the neckline being at about 270, 275. And again, now we're breaking out. So where can this inverse head and shoulder complete? Probably, excuse me, guys, anywhere from 310, 312, 315, right around that all-time high. That is where we could be going, and that's the next big gap to fill. So I think on this catalyst, we might be going up higher. And this is a perfect setup, perfect setup. We got the nice positive catalyst. We got the breakout above moving averages. We got a big gap to fill, so there's actually money to be made. It's not like we're already at all-time highs. So this one, I wouldn't be surprised if it rallied, maybe not for the rest of the week all the way to 310, but I wouldn't be surprised if it had more juice left in the rally, considering it's only Monday. We got a couple more days this week, so watch out for that move up to 310. That gives it about 7-8% upside from where we currently are. Visa is another one that I'm looking at, which isn't quite yet confirming the breakout, which I'm waiting very patiently for, and quite frankly, I've been waiting patiently for this, but we're almost there. We're almost there. We've been consolidating at around 230 for the past 2.5, 3 weeks at this point. We've been choppy around 230. We just need to break above the moving averages, right? We're trading under both the 50 and the 180 here on the 4-hour chart. We're noticing a death cross as well. So I got to see a push up towards 235, probably above 240 on this thing, and 240 being that 180 SMA. So I'm going to put my alert at $240 per share on Visa. And I mean, this is a beautiful uptrending pattern. It's trading within the uptrending channel. We just have to confirm the pop. And I'm here patiently waiting. I have cash on the sidelines to take advantage of that. We also saw Tesla today. Wow, guys, what a day for Tesla. Up almost 3%, and I'm acting like it was a 10% day. Like, oh, what a day for Tesla. It only went up 3%, but still not too shabby considering Tesla is a $700 or $700 billion market cap right now. So a 3% day for a company that size, that's pretty good, guys. That's pretty good. You got to put it into perspective, right? It's not like Tesla is a small cap stock anymore. But overall, this is looking solid, right? We're breaking out of that high point that we struggled at all throughout, August, pretty much up until now. 7:30, we closed above it. We're trading at 7:34 after market hours, and we're above the moving averages as well. You guys can clearly see that. And now it looks like, believe it or not, we're at a 4-month high on Tesla stock. The last time we were at 735, 740 was back in the end of April. And if we start pushing 750, guys, 760, we might go up to test that high from about the beginning of April, middle of April, at about 780, 785. So I like the setup here on Tesla. I obviously own some. It's not a massive position for me. I'm not going to lie here and be like some of these other or tell you guys. I'm not saying they're lying, but they have Tesla as their biggest position. I think Jeremy, his biggest position's Tesla? Is it? I don't think so. I don't even know. I know Meet Kevin is, and I'm not going to lie to you guys and be like, oh, it's my biggest position like them. It's not. In fact, it's a smaller position for me, but I still own it. And I think it's going to do pretty well in the short term. Now, we're not talking long term here, but in the very short term, with the ascending triangle panning out, it's starting to squeeze above the resistance at 730. We're at 734 after hours, like I said. I think the next gap, up is coming. Whether it's 750, 55, 780, 790. I think we're coming, guys. The pop is coming. So I'm going to be waiting for that on Tesla. I like it. HPQ is another one that I'm looking at. This is HP Incorporation. This one, it's interesting. It's not fully... it's trading above the moving averages. It had a good day of about 3% today. They just reported earnings recently, but it's not fully breaking out yet. We're not above $30 yet, 30.50, which is where we struggled in the middle of August. So I'm going to put my alert right at 30.50. I want to see if it could break that high from the middle of August. If so, that is when we could start fully breaking out. And now that I'm looking at it, 30.50 was not only the high from 2 weeks ago, but also from the beginning of July, middle July, and from the beginning of June. So 30.50 needs to break, and we got to break into 31, 31.50, maybe even 32. And at that point, we could start seeing a nice pop, back to that all-time high, $36 here on HPQ. And, you guys can see on the 3-year chart, it's also holding the both moving averages. We're seeing a golden cross. So this looks like a nice dip buy. And as always, you got to do your own research. I'm not telling you what to buy, but geez, guys, from my perspective, this looks like a pretty solid opportunity, but we have to give it some time, as always, with all these stocks, for it to actually pan out. And let's see, did they do very well with earnings? I want to actually take a look at this. They did EPS of $1 versus 84 cents. Not bad. They beat EPS. Revenue missed. Okay, revenue came in at $15.3 billion versus $15.91 billion. Estimated, and okay, they raised their guidance. That's nice. Full year 21 EPS guidance, they raised it from 315 to 325 to 369 to 375. So they raised it by a lot. That is above the 349 estimate, which is awesome. So that's a catalyst for this thing to move higher. Maybe that is why it went up about 3% today. Very possible. So I'm watching HPQ, guys. Apple is also breaking out. This is one that we called out in my morning update video on Patreon today, which I make every day for my top tier patrons. You guys can see, and we called it out, I think, at about 150. You guys can see now it broke out completely of this channel. You know, we were trading within this channel for about a month and a half, ever since the middle of July. You know, we've been getting rejected at 150, holding 143, 144, 145, holding that 180 SMA. And now we held the 180 SMA this morning, and then boom, massive green candle on the 4-hour chart. And you guys can see on the intraday chart, great bullish movement throughout the day. And this did very well, let's be honest, because the overall tech stocks did well. The NASDAQ 100 crushed it. QQQ, all-time high. We covered that earlier. That helped Apple, Amazon, which I ended up locking in profits on. You know, all these stocks did very well. You know, Facebook did well. I think it hit an all-time high today. Google probably crushed it. Of course it did. All-time high was hit. So all of tech did well. I want to see if Apple now sees another big move, whether it's mid-150s, high 150s, low 160s. That could be the next price target or price that it gets to. And the last stock for today is Walmart, ticker symbol WMT. Walmart went up about $1 today, up almost 1%, and it's down from the high here at about 152.50 that it hit after earnings, I believe. Yeah, that was after earnings. It's down about $5 from there, or about a couple percentage points, 3, 4, 5%. And I think this could be a dip buy. You know, I think now that we've pulled back a bit, our size cooled off. You know, we held above the 180 SMA on the 4-hour chart, bounced above it as well. I think this could be making its way back up to the low 150s. Heck, maybe if it breaks that high from after earnings, mid 150s is where we could be going. So I like Walmart. I think this dip is it's an opportunity, and I don't own it quite yet, but I'm thinking I might pick some shares up. You know, we could ride it from 147, 152. And look, guys, the ascending triangle is forming on the 3-year chart, meaning if we take 153 out, this thing could be going 155, 160, no problem. So overall, those are a bunch of stocks I'm looking at, my thoughts on the markets, a little bit of what I'm doing. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to smash that like button, drop a comment, let me know your thoughts, and most importantly, subscribe to the channel. Make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. And if you guys want more access to me throughout the day, my buys, my sells, my call outs, real time, a morning update video as well, and if you want just exclusive content, check out my Patreon. That's linked down below, or you guys can go to stossurfest.com/Patreon. You could also get your $50 from M1 Finance down below with a deposit of $100, and your 2 stocks from Webull up to $1,600, also with a $100 deposit. Those are linked down below. Make sure to get your free money. That's limited time. I'll catch you guys in the next video, which I made one earlier. If you guys want to check it out, I go over 3 stocks I didn't cover in this video. Go check it out. I'll catch you guys there. Thanks for watching. Again, as always, keep crushing the markets. I'll pop the video up here. Keep crushing the markets. Stay safe out there. Peace out.